Imagine this for a moment. You spend 40 years working tirelessly, sacrificing your youth, missing trips, missing family moments, all so that by the time you retire, you have a bank account full of money. But then, your health is fading, your youthful dreams are long gone, and you realize you have the money, but not enough time left to truly live. This is the silent nightmare of millions of Americans. We keep chasing accumulation and forget that money is not the goal. Money is only the fuel for life. In Die with Zero, Bill Perkins presents a bold mindset. Live in a way that when you leave this world, you leave with no regrets, having turned every dollar into meaningful experiences. This isn't reckless spending. It's a life philosophy that helps you strike the balance between earning and enjoying, so your life is not just about existing, but truly about living. If you love inspiring audiobook summaries that shift the way you think about money, career, and life, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so we can keep exploring ideas that might just change the way you live every single day. Part 1. Money is a tool, not the goal. Bill Perkins opens Die with Zero with an idea that sounds simple, yet completely flips the traditional way we think about money. Money is not the ultimate goal. It's just a tool to help you live a full life. We're taught from a young age to work hard, save diligently, and invest wisely so we can retire with a solid nest egg. But Perkins poses a question that many Americans stop in their tracks. If you die with millions of dollars in the bank, without ever experiencing the things you dreamed of, did you really live? Think about it. The average American works more than 1,800 hours a year, more than people in most developed countries. And how many times do we postpone joy with familiar lines like, "I'll travel when I retire," or "I'll spend more time with my kids once my career is stable"? But time waits for no one. Too many parents look back with regret, realizing they traded the precious years of watching their children grow up for a slightly bigger paycheck. Perkins stresses that money isn't meant to be piled up and admired. It's like fuel in a car. The purpose of fuel is to drive, to take you where you want to go. If you just keep stockpiling fuel without ever going anywhere, the car and your life loses its meaning. Here's a familiar example. Many Americans work tirelessly their whole lives, leaving behind millions for their children. Yet sometimes those kids don't even need the money, or worse, they don't value it. Meanwhile, if those parents had used their money to create memories together, road trips across states, summers filled with new experiences, the real inheritance would have been something far more valuable than money. Unforgettable moments and irreplaceable bonds. The message here is clear. Money is a tool to create experiences, not a treasure to hoard. And once you shift this perspective, you begin to ask yourself, am I using money to live a life worth living, or am I simply living to make money? Part 2. Invest in experiences, not possessions. Bill Perkins emphasizes that experiences, not material things, are the real assets that bring lasting value to our lives. He points out a harsh truth. The things we buy today, whether it's a luxury car, a curved screen TV, or a house bigger than we truly need, will eventually become outdated, break down, or get replaced. But experiences and the memories tied to people and emotions stay with us forever. Just look at how many Americans spend their money. Our consumer-driven culture makes it easy to get caught up in buying more. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, endless sales urging us that we need the next new thing. But think about it. Which stays longer in your heart? That old iPhone you once treasured? Or the road trip with friends in your youth, camping under a sky full of stars, laughing until your stomach hurt around the fire? Here's a concrete example. Research from Cornell University shows that people feel longer-lasting happiness when they spend on experiences rather than possessions. A new pair of sneakers may bring joy for a few weeks, but a family trip to the Grand Canyon can be a story you'll tell for a lifetime. And as you grow older, the memories of kayaking with your kids or the moment you first set foot in Europe will still feel vivid, while the car you once bought will be sitting in a junkyard. Perkins also reminds us that experiences don't need to be extravagant or expensive. It could be an afternoon fishing with your dad, a weekend road trip along Route 66, or a special dinner you cook for loved ones. The value isn't in the price tag, it's in the emotions and connections you create. And if you have to choose the things that touch your heart, not just the things that fill your garage. Part 3. Time, health, and money must work together. Bill Perkins highlights a truth we all know but often ignore. Time, health, and money need to align in order to create a fulfilling life. The problem is, most of the time we only have one or two of these, not all three. When we're young, we have time and health, but usually little money. In middle age, we finally start to earn more, but our health begins to decline and work consumes nearly all our time. And by the time we reach old age, we may have money saved up, but our bodies are no longer strong and our time is running out. Picture a typical American who spends their 20s and 30s grinding non-stop, working overtime, sacrificing vacations, climbing the corporate ladder. By their 50s, their 401k looks solid, but their knees ache with every step, their energy is drained, and that dream of a cross-country road trip feels more like a burden than a joy. Perkins reminds us, money can never buy back lost time, nor restore fading health. One striking example is the FIRE movement. Financial independence, retire early. These are people who choose extreme saving and simple living so they can retire in their 40s or 50s while they're still healthy and spend their time traveling, learning, or being with family. For them, money is just a tool to buy freedom of time and the ability to enjoy health while they still have it. Or consider Warren Buffett, one of the richest men on earth. Now in his 90s with unimaginable wealth, he himself has admitted no amount of billions could ever buy back the time of being 25, or the health he had at 30. It's a clear lesson that even the wealthiest can't escape. The takeaway is simple. Money only holds true value when used alongside time and health. If you wait too long to spend it, you're just accumulating wealth for a life you can no longer enjoy. Instead of postponing joy for the future, learn to balance today. Earn enough to live, take care of your health daily, and above all, spend your time in ways that truly matter.
Part 4. Give and share while you're alive. One of the most powerful ideas Bill Perkins emphasizes in Die with Zero is this: wealth is not just for accumulating, it's for sharing while you're still alive. Many Americans tend to leave their entire fortune to their children or donate it to charity only after they've passed away. But Perkins asks a very direct question. If you truly want to help others, why wait until you're no longer here? Think about it. Your children often need financial support most when they're young, when they're paying for college, buying their first home, or starting a business of their own. Yet most parents wait until the end of their lives to leave an inheritance. By then, their children might already be in their 50s, and that money no longer makes a real turning point in their lives. Perkins argues that giving at the right time is what makes giving meaningful. A powerful real-life example is Chuck Feeney, founder of Duty Free Shoppers. Once a billionaire, he chose to give away nearly his entire fortune of $8 billion to charitable causes while still alive. Feeney once said, "I want the joy of seeing my money make a difference during my lifetime, not after I'm gone." His story is proof that true value isn't in the numbers in your bank account, it's in the living legacy you create in the lives of others. In fact, research on happiness in America shows that people experience the deepest fulfillment not from spending on themselves, but from using their money and time to create a positive impact on their communities. A father helping his daughter launch a small business, or a mother paying off her son's student debt. These aren't just financial gifts, they're seeds of confidence, hope, and opportunity. That kind of impact is far greater than any inheritance left behind on paper. The message is clear. Giving and sharing should be part of your life's journey, not just its ending. When you share your resources, love, and care now, you don't just change someone else's life, you build a spiritual legacy, one that continues to live on long after you're no longer here. Part 5. Living by Life Stages. Bill Perkins stresses an important idea. Every stage of life has its own experience value, and once you miss it, you can never get it back. He calls this the principle of living by life stages. Picture this. In your 20s, you have health, boldness, and few obligations. This is the perfect time to backpack across Europe, launch a daring startup, or take on a physically demanding challenge. But if you wait until your 60s, even with plenty of money, your body and spirit may no longer allow it. At that point, money becomes meaningless if it isn't tied to experiences suited to your age. In middle age, you may no longer have boundless energy, but you do have financial stability and maturity. This is the stage best suited for investing in family memories, vacations with your kids, meaningful projects at work, or community activities that leave an impact. A typical American might choose to spend on a trip to Disney World while their children are still young because once they grow up, the magic of Disney no longer sparks the same wonder and joy. Later in life, the greatest value doesn't lie in faraway adventures, but in sharing memories, wisdom, and love with family and community. An elderly man might choose to write memoirs for his grandchildren, or set aside a small fund to help underprivileged students in his hometown. These acts not only give meaning to his own life, but also extend his legacy to the next generation. Perkins' message is clear. Don't just save money for the future while forgetting the value of the present. Think of life as a flowing stream, where each stage carries its own unique opportunities. If you spend your money and time at the right moments, you'll never regret missing the golden windows of your life. Part 6. Redefining Wealth and Success. When we think of wealth, most of us immediately picture the number in our bank account, our investment portfolio, or the properties we own. But in Die with Zero, Bill Perkins challenges this traditional view. He argues that true wealth isn't measured by how much you accumulate, but by the quality of the experiences you've lived, the memories you've created, and the relationships you've nurtured. If you have millions in the bank but never took your parents on a meaningful trip, never spent real time with your kids while they were young, or never pursued the things that truly set your heart on fire, then that money becomes meaningless. A life like that may be rich in money, but poor in experiences. Perkins calls this the trap of extreme saving, being so obsessed with preparing for the future that you lose the present. He stresses that real wealth is balance, the balance between saving and enjoying. Of course, nobody is encouraging reckless spending that leads to debt. But on the other hand, hoarding every penny just to prepare for old age isn't wise either. Perkins gives a familiar example. Someone who works 40 years straight, skipping vacations, saying no to every experience, only to retire with a few million in the bank. But by then, their health is fading, many dreams have slipped away, and loved ones may no longer be there. At that point, money can't buy back lost time. There's data to back this up. In America, more than 60% of older adults pass away, leaving behind significant unused assets. In other words, millions of people spend their lives working and saving, but never actually enjoy the fruits of their labor. Contrast that with those who deliberately allocate money to create golden moments while they can. Like a young couple who chooses to take an RV trip across the country with their children while they're still little. They may not have a massive retirement fund, but they have something priceless: unforgettable memories. Perkins wants us to understand that money is only a tool, not the ultimate goal. Success is not dying with a fortune, it's leaving the world having truly lived with no regrets. Die with Zero doesn't mean spending every last dollar. It means leaving behind a complete life, where every dollar has been transformed into memories, experiences, value, and legacy. So, to redefine wealth is to redefine how we live. It's not measured by the balance in your bank account, but by how many times your heart has raced with joy, how many moments you've shared with those you love, and the values you've passed on to the next generation. And true success lies in balance, the balance between saving for security and enjoying life so you don't waste the one life you have. We all come into this world with empty hands, and we will all leave with empty hands. Money, possessions, status, none of it can be carried with us to the grave. What remains after we're gone are the lives we've lived, the love we've given, and the legacy we've left behind. That legacy could be the cherished memories in your family's hearts, the journeys that strengthened your friendships, the opportunities you created for your community, or the values you passed down to the next generation. So use money wisely. Don't let it become chains that bind you. Let it be the tool that builds a life worth remembering, a meaningful legacy that lives on even when you are no longer here. If this message resonates with you, make sure to like and subscribe, and join me as we explore more life-changing books together. And don't forget to share this video, because who knows, it might just be the spark that helps someone you care about start living a fuller, richer life.